Okay.
A new league was introduced to the world. 4 cities chosen to lead the way: Jacksonville, Savannah, Greensboro, Charlotte. Foundation was set, but this was only the beginning.
We welcome you to the Novant Health Fieldhouse from Greensboro, North Carolina, for this presentation of the UPSHOT League. For the second time in less than 24 hours, the Greensboro Groove take on the league-leading Jacksonville Waves. Good afternoon and welcome to today's broadcast. My name is Wendell Epps, here to bring you all of the coverage for what is going to be in today's matchup. And last night, we saw a plethora of players do their thing. One of those being Maya Hollingshed, you see right there on your screen, had 8 points, 9 boards, 2 blocks. She has been a consistent force on both ends of the floor this season for the Greensboro Groove and is certainly going to be a big X factor for Greensboro coming into this matchup. Hollingshed averaging just a little over 9 points a game this season. Against Jacksonville, she's averaged about a little over 25 minutes a contest. And another player, of course, we got to mention Diamond Johnson, right? The league's leading scorer. She had 16 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals yesterday against the Waves. Now, the interesting thing about Diamond's performance yesterday was she actually did not score a single point in the first quarter. Was playing more of a facilitator role, but got it going towards the end of the second half. That was one of those plays in that third quarter where she found Tayana Jones-Bell. And Diamond Johnson, I tell you, she may be the smallest player out there on the floor, but she's got the heart, she's got the hustle, and she's going to do her thing. But yesterday, it was the Jacksonville Waves that took home the victory yesterday, winning 82-70. Plethora of players did their thing, and it was started off with Renaya Davis. She was beasting and feasting inside the paint, folks. I tell you, Renaya Davis had herself a ball game, 18 points, 8 of 11 from the field. All of her buckets came inside the low block. It was just a beauty to see, and she is somebody that has continued to just be dominant in this UPSHOT League. She's currently the second leading rebounder in UPSHOT, averaging just a shade under 8 boards a game and averaging 12.5 points. She's looking good. But of course, if you're going to mention the Jacksonville Waves, you have to mention Air Hearn. Air Hearn, she is a bucket getter. Look how deep this three was. My goodness. She hit 4 triples in yesterday's ball game against the Greensboro Groove. Finished the game with a team-high 19 points and 6 rebounds. Her 19 points actually were the most points that she scored in a game this season against the Greensboro Groove. Hearn has had herself a couple nice ball games against the Charlotte Crown and the Savannah Steel, but prior to last night, she really hadn't been able to find an offensive explosion against Greensboro, but she did so last night. She'll be hoping to do that again today. And last but not least, Cheyenne Sellers, one of the most prominent names in the UPSHOT League. She was also a big force yesterday for the Jacksonville Waves. May not have done much in the scoring department, but she had 3 steals in 29 minutes of play and got some big buckets down in the clutch as well. So that's a little recap of how some of those standout players did in yesterday's game against the Greensboro Groove. And now, for the 5th time this season, the Groove and the Waves are going toe-to-toe. Jacksonville currently leading the season series 3-1. Take a look at those Greensboro Groove players and the coaching staff getting introduced here for today's ball game. It is Legends Night here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. We'll now take a look at the UPSHOT League standings you see right there on your screen. This is how they are shaking out so far. Every team has played 8 games. Jacksonville currently in first place at 6-2, living it up there at the top spot. Greensboro and Savannah are tied at 4-4, but Greensboro owns the tiebreaker over the Savannah Steel right now, sitting at 4-4. And then you got the Charlotte Crown in 4th place at 2-6. But Charlotte did win their last game that they did play against the Savannah Steel. Opening tip set to begin here in just a matter of a couple of moments. Obviously, with this being the second game of a back-to-back for both Jacksonville and Greensboro, be interesting to see what the tempo, what the pace is like for the opening stages of this game. I anticipate that both teams are obviously going to come out swinging. They're going to want to play good basketball. Obviously, Jacksonville's been on a roll as of late, winning their last 3 games overall. 2 wins against Greensboro and a win against Charlotte back on June 3rd. And after this, Jacksonville's going to finally head back home. It's been a minute since they played a home game. May 23rd was their last home game, but they'll be back home on June 18th to face the Savannah Steel. Meanwhile, for Greensboro, they're going to keep home cooking for a couple more games. After this, they will welcome in the Charlotte Crown for the first time ever to the Novant Health Fieldhouse, and that'll be on Wednesday, June 17th. Coming up here in a couple of days, it'll be a noon tip-off, as it'll be a camp day game for the Greensboro Groove. Appreciate everyone joining us here today on the UPSHOT League YouTube channel, wherever you may be watching for this presentation of UPSHOT Basketball. Once again, my name is Wendell Epps, here to bring you today's broadcast. We got our great production crew with us along for the ride. This is going to be fun. The UPSHOT League, a little prelude to what's going to be a busy day of basketball all around the world. Of course, you got Game 5 of the NBA Finals happening later tonight, but nice little pregame with it here with the UPSHOT League as the Greensboro Groove are wearing their blue uniforms here for this ball game. You can see right there on your screen for the Greensboro Groove, head coach Janice Washington, the first coach of the Greensboro Groove, standout at Campbell University as a player, 119 career games, ranked 3rd in school history for total steals and assists at the time there. Spent 9 years as an assistant, and now hoping to see her Greensboro Groove team get back to above 500 as they're 4-4 heading into this matchup. Jacksonville at 6-2. It'll be Maya Hollingshed and Renaya Davis at center court for tonight's opening tip. Hollingshed starting alongside Diamond Johnson, Kamari McDaniel, Sahara Jones, and a player we didn't highlight in her open, but we definitely got to mention her, Jessica Timmons. She has been balling as of late, 20-plus points in each of her last 3 games. Number 23 in blue, certainly going to be a player to keep an eye on here today. Let's do it. We've got the Groove. We've got the Waves. It's Saturday afternoon hoops in Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are officially underway. Groove control the opening possession. This is Sahara Jones with it for Greensboro, who's seen her minutes total increase these last couple games. Hollingshed swings it over to McDaniel on the left wing. 7 on the shot clock. Hollingshed will fire the J and knocks it down. That's one way to start off your ball game if you're Greensboro, getting a bucket on your first possession. And the Jacksonville Waves really were in cruise control in that first quarter in last night's contest. I mentioned that they held Diamond Johnson scoreless. That is not an easy thing to do. Down low, this is Jasmine Walker surveying the floor, steps out, fires a long J. That one can't go, but the putback is up and in there for Renaya Davis, and those are her first 2 points of the day. And this Jacksonville Waves team had 3 players in double figures yesterday. The game prior against Greensboro, they actually had 6 players reach double figures, so they have been certainly a team-oriented group. Look at Diamond Johnson lifting and shifting her way into the lane for her first 2 points, and that is a great sign for Greensboro to see Diamond Johnson getting active early. Walker, a left elbow jumper. That one rattles out, and Johnson corrals the board. Johnson stepping in, firing a jumper over Lindsey Pulliam. That one too strong, and the rebound is corralled by Pulliam. Here's Air Hearn. Now it's Walker. Back in the hands of Cheyenne Sellers as Jacksonville goes around the horn. 1-on-1 against Jones. Sellers muscling her way inside. Jones says, get that out of here. My goodness. Greensboro has numbers. Jones the pull-up J. Can't fall. So Greensboro with an early 4-2 lead, just a little over 2 minutes into our ball game so far. Hearn gives it over to Davis, picked up by Hollingshed. Steps in, short runner, it drops in. So good bucket there for Renaya Davis, who has the first 2 field goals of the game for Jacksonville. Davis is a player with a lot of experience, 27 years old, top 10 pick back in the 2021 WNBA draft. Another player that was the top 10 pick in the WNBA draft has the ball right now in Maya Hollingshed. Here's McDaniel with 4 on the timer. Swings it over to Johnson. She'll fire a deep 3. And that one is going to be an air ball, and it'll be a shot clock violation So possession will flip over to Jacksonville. Take a look at a replay of our first field goal of the game, and Maya Hollingshed knocking it down, making it look easy. It's been a while since Hollingshed's had a double-digit scoring game, but she's had some of her best rebounding performances in her recent stretch for Greensboro, and Hollingshed taking more of a front court role right now for the Greensboro Groove, back in that starting lineup after coming off the bench for a little while. She certainly is going to be a key piece for this Greensboro team moving forward. Here's Johnson controlling the point for the Groove. This is Jessica Timmons with it. Into the hands of Hollingshed, picked up by Walker. Johnson gets free off the screen from Timmons. Now steps inside. Jones with 5 on the shot clock. Goes in against Davis, can't get a clean shot off. Wanted a foul, no call, but Greensboro will keep it with 3 on the timer. It's always interesting to see how can you handle a play call with just 3 seconds on the shot clock. Might not seem like a lot of time, but if it plays executed right, could get you free. Hollingshed to Johnson. She's going to have to fire. I don't think she realized that the shot clock was running down, and it's going to be the second shot clock violation for Greensboro in the opening stages of this game. So both teams with just 2 field goals so far, a little over 3 minutes into our ball game. Timmons guarding Air Hearn right now. Davis will fire top of the key triple, and that one is too short. And second game in less than 24 hours. Sometimes you just got to get your legs under you a little bit, get free. But these still are the top 2 teams in the UPSHOT League standings right now. Jacksonville at 6-2, Greensboro at 4-4. Groove have only dropped 2 games in this building so far at home. One of those being last night against Jacksonville. Hollinshed's 3-ball is nothing but net. Here's Pulliam. Into the hands of Walker. Back to Pulliam. Walker free. And hits a 3. So Jasmine Walker, she's somebody that her 3-point shooting has been good this season. Shooting 45.5% from long range. Only a Duke Bulgak is shooting better from 3-point land for Jacksonville this season. Timmons will try to answer. She can't. Hearn soars high for the rebound. Here comes Jacksonville, a 4-on-5 on the other end. Walker and elbow J. No good. Johnson corrals the board. Johnson trying to get free, working against Pulliam. This is Sahara Jones. Amaya Joyner set to check in at the next dead ball. Jones one-on-one against Sellers. Trying to get open, and we are going to get a foul on the floor. It's going to be assessed on Jacksonville. Cheyenne Sellers in disbelief. As here comes Amaya Joyner for the Greensboro Groove. She'll replace Sahara Jones, and Aduk Bulgak will be the first substitution off the bench for Jacksonville. She'll replace Jasmine Walker. As you see Janice Washington giving some instructions there to Sahara Jones. 5:18 to play in our first quarter, all knotted up at 7 apiece. This is McDaniel. Over to Johnson. One-on-one against Pulliam. Drives inside with force and can't finish, but we are going to get a loose ball foul. And there was a lot of physicality, especially in the second half of yesterday's game between these two squads. Some calls that could have gone either way, as the loose ball foul was called on Maya Hollingshed, it looks like. So it's going to be Jacksonville basketball. Here comes Air Hearn bringing the ball up the floor for Jacksonville, currently the 3rd leading scorer in the UPSHOT League. Hearn swings it over to the right corner. Pulliam for 3. Too strong. Hollingshed gets the board. Here comes Greensboro. They have numbers. Timmons slicing and dicing her way inside and can't finish. Good rebound there by Davis. With the need for speed down the floor. Kicks it out to Sellers. Left corner, she'll fire. And that one way off the mark. Ball goes out of bounds. And looks like it'll stay with Jacksonville. Last touch by Greensboro, as that'll take us to our first media timeout. 4:34 to play in our opening frame. It is 7-all at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. We're back in just a moment. You're watching the UPSHOT League. Welcome back into this presentation of the UPSHOT League. The Greensboro Groove taking on the Jacksonville Waves here from the Novant Health Fieldhouse in the Gate City. Greensboro and Jacksonville currently tied 7-all here with just about 4:34 remaining in our first quarter. Appreciate everyone joining us today on this Saturday. My name is Wendell Epps, here to bring you today's broadcast. Greensboro currently right now is led by Maya Hollenshed with 5 points. She's 2 of 2 from the field as a team. Greensboro has also been able to knock down 1 3-pointer, 2 assists. Jacksonville with an early boost so far from Renaya Davis with 4 points. As Jacksonville has the ball coming out of the timeout. It'll be Air Hearn to inbound here for the Waves. So Hearn's on the floor right now with Renaya Davis, Cheyenne Sellers, Adup Bulgak, and also freshly checked in for Jacksonville as well is Madison Griggs. Here's Sellers. Swings it in the hands of Bulgak. She'll fake it. She'll take it. An easy deuce inside. Good take there from Adup Bulgak, who is the tallest player out there on the floor and taking advantage of it. Here's Timmons stepping inside near the left baseline. McDaniel getting free. One-on-one against Sellers, and we're going to get a reach-in foul called on Cheyenne Sellers. And that'll be her second. And Sellers is going to have to check out, picking up that second foul. Lindsey Pulliam, who barely sat on the bench, maybe all but 10 seconds, is already back in for the Waves. This is Jessica Timmons, who's been the leading scorer the last couple games for Greensboro, including yesterday. Joyner's hook shot can't fall. Rebound is corralled there by Davis. Swings it over to Bulgak. Into the hands now of Griggs. Jacksonville's ball movement has been exquisite all season. It's carried in so far to the first quarter of this ball game. Pulliam drives. Nice pass down low to Davis for the easy finish. And that is a two-player connection working to perfection as Jacksonville now takes a 4-point lead. Here's Johnson. Pull-up J. Rattles out, and the board is corralled by Hearn. Waves wasting no time. Griggs thought about it. No reset. Waves currently average the second most points out of any UPSHOT team. The team that's currently leading the UPSHOT League in points per game as a unit is the Greensboro Groove. Griggs will fire a long ball. That one can't go. And Joyner says, that's my ball. Here comes Johnson. Working with Joyner, a little two-player action. Now McDaniel, the fake, drives, goes in strong, and gets that one to go. Says, hey, get out of my way. Hearn lost their footing, and able to hold on to the ball. Air Hearn, such an acrobatic, athletic, fundamentally sound player. Gives it over to Bulgak. Her three ball's no good. She wanted a foul. No call. As the ball went out of bounds, and it'll be Groove basketball now. Take a look at a replay of this last basket by the Greensboro Groove. Look at Kamari and McDaniel. This is a player that she's going to get her buckets, and she's also going to get her fouls drawn. Didn't get one on that possession as far as a foul drawn, but she's going to shoot her free throws for sure. That is just what Kamari McDaniel has done. She went 8 for 8 from the line in 29 minutes yesterday. How about Jessica Timmons? Welcome to the scoring party. Her first 2 points of the game. And just like that, we're all tied up again here at 11 apiece. There were 0 ties in yesterday's ball game and just one lead change. Just shows you how dominant Jacksonville really was able to be and how they were able to stay in that driver's seat throughout the course of the game. The steal, Taylor Soule freshly checked in the game for the Waves and already making an impact. And that's another unique thing about this Jacksonville Waves team. When it comes to bench scoring, they have just been delivering. They go pretty deep in the rotation, and they like to get all their players involved, and that's what the best teams do. It's not just a 1 or 2 player show, it's a total team effort. 1:23 to play in our opening frame. This is Timmons. Bounce pass down low to Joyner. Tough take, and she is fouled. So Amaya Joyner listed at 6'4". Young player, just 22 years old. She'll be 23 on July 19th. Native of Farmville, North Carolina. See right there, we're trying to get past Taylor Soule. Joyner played 17 minutes yesterday against Jacksonville. 2 points, 3 rebounds, no free throws attempted. So these are our first free throws of this little 2-game series. Of course, with just 4 teams in this UPSHOT League, you get to know every opponent really well, and there's going to be that one sequence or so throughout the season where you're going to see a team multiple times in a row. The Groove, this is now their 4th straight game that they are playing the Jacksonville Waves. A 2-game series that took place on May 30th and May 31st. They split those meetings. Greensboro winning the first by 18, losing the second by just 3. And then here's our other 2-game series where, of course, Greensboro lost yesterday by 12, 82-70. But looking for redemption here today, trying to move to 5-4 on the UPSHOT season. Pulliam left wide open. Her 3 ball's too strong, but Griggs gets the board. Out in the hands of Soule. 10 on the timer. Soule drives, muscles her way inside, and we are going to get a foul called on Sahara Jones. So free throws coming up here for Taylor Soule. Soule, a 61% free throw shooter so far on the season. Hits her first shot there. Had 5 points in 13 minutes yesterday against Greensboro. Currently averaging just a shade over 7 points a game this season. And if you're just joining us, it's been a pretty neck-and-neck first quarter, a contrast to yesterday's first quarter in which Jacksonville was able to build a good lead, and then they carried that into the second quarter where they led by as many as 16. Timmons with it for Greensboro. Gets a screen from Joyner. Kicks it out. Jones will fire a long ball. Too strong. Shot clock still alive. About a 3-second differential. This is Bulgak. Swings it over into the hands there of Pointer. Pointer weaves her way inside and one. So Kayla Pointer, who has come alive these last couple games for the Jacksonville Waves, will look to convert the three-point play. Player that played her college ball at LSU, was the only player in LSU men's or women's basketball history with at least 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 500 assists in her college career as a Tiger. Yesterday, Pointer was a plus 12 off the bench, so you just talk about her efficiency in that second unit this season. She certainly has been delivering for Jacksonville. They lead by 5. Shot clock is dark for the remainder of the first quarter. This is Diamond Johnson, 5 seconds to go. Can she get one more bucket here? Johnson drives, rejected. Tag team effort by Pulliam and Bulgak, as that'll take us to the end of quarter number 1. So Jacksonville with an 18-13 lead over Greensboro through one quarter of play. A little bit of a team effort for Jacksonville, and it was capped off by an and one from Kayla Pointer. We're through 10. Back in just a moment for our second quarter. You're watching this presentation of the UPSHOT League. Saturday hoops in Greensboro, North Carolina. Fans showing out at the Novant Health Fieldhouse to see this matchup between the Greensboro Groove and the Jacksonville Waves. Appreciate everyone spending your Saturday with us. My name is Wendell Epps, along with our great production crew bringing today's broadcast. Groove and Waves going toe-to-toe for the second time in less than 24 hours. Jacksonville with an 18-13 lead through one quarter of play. A first quarter that saw Jacksonville shoot just 1 of 8 from long range, but the fact that they were able to out-rebound the Groove 10-6, get 2 offensive rebounds, couple second-chance opportunities, that has allowed head coach Jess Bogie and her squad to have a 5-point lead. 6 points scored by Renaya Davis. That led all scores for Jacksonville. Greensboro was led by Maya Hollenshed with 5. It's also Legends Night here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. A couple of legends being honored during the last timeout. Great to have these wonderful theme nights put on by the Greensboro Groove at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. Jacksonville with the ball to begin this second quarter. This is Kayla Pointer with it, who had an and one to cap off the first quarter for the Waves. Steps inside and nearly got another and one. So first team foul of the second quarter as Kayla Pointer, such an aggressive player, working one-on-one there against Sasha Washington, who those of you that were tuned into last night's broadcast saw that was her debut with the Greensboro Groove. New player added to their roster. Was able to rack up her first points of her UPSHOT career in the fourth quarter with a couple made free throws. And a player that played her college basketball, had a very successful college basketball career at the University of Vanderbilt. Also had a training camp deal recently with the Atlanta Dream, and now getting an opportunity in the UPSHOT League with the Greensboro Groove. As Pointer goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line, ball batted around. Jacksonville trying to get it, but they can't, and it's going to be Groove basketball. But those are the extra efforts you like to see, right, from the Jacksonville Waves. They're not going to give up on any play. I think I've seen that in the couple games that I've called for them so far this season, but also for those of you that have been watching the Jacksonville Waves, even if this is your first time watching them today, they are a team that likes to hustle. They are not going to give up on any possession. Jessica Timmons drives inside, and she draws a foul. So 2 shots are coming up for number 23 in blue. There's a replay of Timmons getting inside. Interesting note about Timmons averaging just about 21.6 points per game in her last 3 games. This is a player that started off the season coming off the bench for Greensboro, was more of a role player, facilitator type, and then really has just seen her offensive role increase. Her first meeting against Jacksonville, she did not even score a single point. But in each of her last 3 games against the Waves, she's recorded 20 or more points, including hitting 7 threes back in a meeting on May 30th, right here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse, where she just could not miss. Every shot she was taking, she was making from long range. It was such an incredible sight to see. She's able to knock down both free throws there as Greensboro's within 4. This is Bulgak, picked up by Hollingshed. Out in the hands there of Pulliam. Back to Bulgak. Her mid-range J drops in. Adu Bulgak, she can shoot that basketball. Talk about a stretch 5. That is a very big luxury to have on your roster. Hollingshed was looking for Jalen Brown, who just checked in, but Pulliam ripped it away. However, she wasn't able to chase it down, and so it's going to stay with Greensboro. But they're going to have 12 seconds on the shot clock to go just about the length of the floor. So it's Brown, Washington, McDaniel, Johnson, and Hollingshed, the 5 on the floor for Greensboro. Here comes Johnson getting across the timeline. Shot clock down to 7. Johnson so far with 2 points, 3 seconds. Brown's going to have to put something up. Rejected by Bulgak, said, get out. Shot clock violation was also called, but an incredible defensive stance there by Adu Bulgak. Said, hey, you just ain't scoring on me. Here comes Kayla Pointer, picked up by Jalen Brown. This is Soul. Bounce pass into the hands of Pulliam. Washington and McDaniel, little tag team effort, tightly corralling her. Soul, the turnaround, Jay can't fall, and Brown is there for the rebound. But we're going to get a loose ball foul called on the Groove. It's going to be assessed on Sasha Washington. That's the second foul called on Washington. Happened right in front of that Groove bench. So Jacksonville's going to get a little fortunate here, as they're going to have an extra opportunity to try and build this lead up a little bit more. This is Air Hearn, who hasn't scored yet so far for the Waves. Their leading scorer so far this season, tightly corralled by Jalen Brown. Soul's going to have to put something up. She couldn't. Hollingshed ripped it away. Great defensive effort there by the Groove. On the other end, this is Washington. Now McDaniel, the 3-ball. Can't fall as Hearn gets the rebound. Jacksonville goes right to left. Pointer drives inside. Johnson says, get out! Diamond Johnson, that's an underrated aspect of her game. She can lock down. She can play defense. That's what she did right there on that possession, as Jacksonville will make a plethora of substitutions. Jasmine Walker will come back in, Cheyenne Sellers, Renaya Davis. As you see, Bulgak, Soul, and Pulliam all head to the bench, receiving high fives from head coach Jess Bogie. This is Davis. Oh my goodness, just spinning and winning her way inside. Couldn't finish, gets her own miss, but can't get that one to fall as Washington gets the board. Here comes McDaniel, activating the turbo boost down the floor and finishing. Count it. And one for Kamaria McDaniel. A play so nice, you just got to see it twice. Look at McDaniel, says, ha, gotcha. Finishing in transition. And the player that has gotten to the free throw line more than anybody on this Greensboro Groove roster is set to shoot her first free throw of the ball game. This can make it a one-possession game with the make here. McDaniel misses, but Hollenshed tipped it out to her. Second chance, in and out. And Jacksonville catches a break there because Greensboro had a chance to get a free bucket. On the other end, Davis is left wide open. Said, I'm going to make you pay. Here comes Jones on the other end. Little reverse layup, can't fall as the ball goes out of bounds, and Jacksonville will take over with possession. And we'll get a timeout here from Janice Washington. She'll talk with her squad right now as Greensboro trails by 6. 6:58 to play in our second quarter. 23-17, Jacksonville on top. We're back in just a moment. You're watching the UPSHOT League. We welcome you back to this live presentation of UPSHOT Basketball. The Greensboro Groove taking on the Jacksonville Waves on this beautiful Saturday in Greensboro, North Carolina. The Groove trying to win this game and move to 5-4 on the UPSHOT League season. The Jacksonville Waves currently first place in the UPSHOT standings. The team that is on a roll, 6-2. They're trying to move to 7-2, and that would also extend their winning streak up to 4. As this is the last replay of what we saw prior to the timeout. Renaya Davis finishing off a beautiful pass from Air Hearn. It's been a recurring theme for Jacksonville as a team so far. They have a total of 5 assists. Off the timeout, Jasmine Walker, my goodness. Do your thing. What a turnaround, Jay, by number 40 in white. And look at Cheyenne Sellers diving for the ball, coming straight to the scores table right near me. Could have crashed, could have. Man, Cheyenne Sellers. I love the intensity, though. I respect it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of hustle you love to see in the UPSHOT League, and that's the beauty of this league, right? These players come out here. I have not seen one UPSHOT League game from any of these 4 teams where I've just seen a flat effort. Every one of these teams brings the energy regardless of the game. And mind you, these 2 teams just played a game against each other less than 24 hours ago. Hearn, a step back J, knocks it down. It's Air Hearn time in Greensboro. Diamond Johnson at the scores table, so she'll check in at the next dead ball. This is McDaniel. Spins, picks up her dribble, tightly defended by Walker. Timmons, one-on-one against Hearn. Gets a screen from Washington, trying to get free. Turns, Hollingshed, long ball. Can't fall. Ball tapped around, and it's going to be last touch by Renaya Davis of Jacksonville. So Greensboro is going to keep possession. So Johnson's back in for Greensboro. She replaces Sasha Washington. We'll get her breather after some good minutes off the bench. And this is the time where if you're the Groove, you want to try and get back on track a little bit offensively. Down by 11, don't want to let Jacksonville extend this lead more before halftime. Greensboro has beaten this Jacksonville Waves team once before, right here in this building a couple weeks ago, and it was on a Saturday. This is Johnson with 3 on the shot clock. Gives it over to McDaniel. Someone's got to shoot it, and Timmons caught it, telling Kamari and McDaniel, maybe you should have shot that. That's okay. Greensboro will try and redeem themselves in the defensive end of the floor as Air Hearn, who has just 3 points, just scored her first bucket a few moments ago, but she's been a playmaker so far for Jacksonville. Steps in, mid-range jumper, can't hit that one, but McDaniel gets the rebound. Here comes Kamari and McDaniel stepping inside, and the ball goes way past the basket, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Groove with 19 on the shot clock. Johnson will inbound. Gets it into Hollingshed, picked up tightly by Davis. One-on-one, little shimmy action. That's her signature move. Let her cook. And when Maya Hollingshed gets going on the offensive end, that is when good things can happen for this Greensboro Groove team. Here's Davis, picked up by Hollingshed. Nice pass from Jacksonville. My goodness, they almost had the extra pass, but it was a kick ball there on Sahara Jones. Possession will stay with Jacksonville. 14 on the timer for the Waves. As Sellers will inbound from side out. McDaniel set to defend the inbound. Air Hearn catches the ball off the inbound, picked up by Timmons, fires a 3 ball. It's an air ball, but goes right to the hands of Davis. Air Hearn will say that was an assist. So Jacksonville now back on top by double digits, an 11-point lead with 4:18 to play in our first half. Johnson for 3. Too strong. Ball goes into the hands of Timmons. What a save! But no Greensboro Groove player was able to corral it, so it'll be Jacksonville ball, but still credit Timmons for the extra effort. So here comes Hearn running the point now for the Waves. Jacksonville looking to build their lead up a little bit more. Bulgak gives it in the hands of Davis. Back over to Sellers, picked up by McDaniel. Davis working against Johnson. Little turnaround J, can't fall. Sahara Jones soars high for the board. Johnson trying to get free. Jones swings it over to her right side into the hands of Jessica Timmons. 10 on the shot clock. Timmons 1-on-1 against Hearn. Gets a screen from Hollenshed, fires a long ball. That one can't go. The chase down by Pulliam. And they are going to get Sahara Jones with a reach-in foul. Second foul on Sahara Jones, third team foul overall as Jasmine Walker will check back in for Renaya Davis as we take a look at this foul. And you see right there, yep, just a little push and reach in there from Sahara Jones was enough for a whistle to be blown. Sellers working against Hollenshed. Kicks it out in the hands of Hearn for three. That one rattles out. Hollenshed jumps high for the rebound. On the other end, the pull-up J can't fall, and Walker is there for it. Pass tipped. Good deflection by Hollenshed. Here comes McDaniel wasting no time. Into the hands of Johnson for three. Money! So that'll do something for you. Diamond Johnson, her first three ball of the game. Diamond Johnson averaging actually a little more than three-pointers made per game against the Jacksonville Waves this season as Bulgak answers with a bucket on the other end of the floor. Here's Jones stepping inside, out in the hands of Timmons. Receives a screen from Hollenshed. McDaniel fell down to the ground, no call. 9 seconds on the timer. Hollenshed, thought three, weaves her way inside, can't finish. Good defense there by Jacksonville inside that low block. Here come the Waves, they have numbers. Walker inside, finishing with the right hand. Timeout Greensboro. So Jacksonville with a 34-22 lead with 1:58 to play in our first half. The Waves leading by 12, but Diamond Johnson just recently got her first three-point make of the game so far today. As we take a look at a replay of that sequence, you see McDaniel, the nice kick out to Johnson, who said, "I'll take care of the rest." But it's still all Jacksonville. They're up by 12, 1:58 to play in our second quarter. Step aside for a quick break. We're back in just a moment. You're watching the UPSHOT League. Welcome back into the UPSHOT League. Greensboro Groove and the Jacksonville Waves. Appreciate everyone spending your Saturday with us. My name is Wendell Epps, here to bring you today's broadcast. The Waves, so far in the second quarter, have outscored the Greensboro Groove 16-9. The Waves as a team are shooting 50% from the field here in the second period. They've held Greensboro to just 3 of 13 from the field. So when you talk about an electric two-way performance, that is what Jacksonville has been delivering so far in this second period. And with just a little under 2 minutes to play before we reach our halftime intermission, this is going to be the stage where Greensboro is going to try and create at least a little bit of a mini run, at least get a couple baskets, see that ball go through the hoop, so they can create some sort of momentum heading into that second half. And as for Jacksonville, they're just looking to try and keep building their lead as much as they can before they all hit that halftime locker room. Hollingshed will inbound it to Diamond Johnson. Lindsey Pulliam on the other side, ready to defend. Johnson weaves her way inside. Little runner drops in. Nice take there by Diamond Johnson. Doing work in Greensboro. So you got your bucket now. You could really use a stop here if you're the Groove. Bulgak, tightly defended, swings it over to the hands of Pointer. Walker drives, can't finish, ball tapped around, and Johnson has the rebound. Here come the Groove. Timmons, what a bounce pass inside. Hollingshed, oh my goodness! Take a picture! That was a beautiful fake. Hollingshed said, gotcha, and the Groove are within 8. So quick little 4-0 run out of the timeout for Greensboro. Walker answers. Calm, cool, and collected is Jasmine Walker, a player that is one of the vets on this Jacksonville Waves team. Johnson, elbow J, money. And if Diamond Johnson can get that mid-range jumper going in that second half, good things are going to happen for the Groove. She's up to 9 points. That's tied for a team high. Pulliam couldn't finish on the other end. Here comes Timmons. Greensboro trying to create a little bit more life. Timmons wasting no time. Out into the hands of Kamaria McDaniel. Timmons left open. She'll fire. And that one can't fall. Joyner tries to save it. Push Sellers down to the ground, and that's going to be a loose ball foul. Take a look at the sequence again. Timmons 3 in and out, almost dropped down, and then there was just a late push there from Amaya Joyner on Cheyenne Sellers. Shot clock is dark for the remainder of the first half. Jacksonville with the ball. It's Pointer. And the Waves get one more basket before this halftime reaches as Pointer drives in, draws a foul, and she'll shoot 2. Two made free throws here can make it a double-digit lead for Jacksonville heading into our halftime break. As you see Pointer, she's always going to find ways to attack inside, even if she's going against a bigger defender like an Amaya Joyner. And that was the second foul for Joyner in just under 20 seconds. First shot's up for Pointer, and that one drops in. Nothing but net for Caleb Pointer, the 5'7" guard, 13th pick, back in the second round of the 2022 WNBA draft by the Las Vegas Aces. Coming off that 8-point performance yesterday for Jacksonville, has really been a strong force off the bench. She splits the pair as the ball goes out of bounds with just about 0.5 of a second on the game clock. Greensboro has the ball. They'll try and do what they can with these final seconds, as that'll take us to the end of the second quarter, as it is officially halftime here in Greensboro, North Carolina, where the Jacksonville Waves lead the Greensboro Groove 37-28. Through 20 minutes of play, Jasmine Walker had 9 points in that first half for the Jacksonville Waves. Diamond Johnson and Maya Hollingshed combining for 9 points apiece in that first half for Greensboro. Still some work to do for the Groove, but they got within 9. Definitely showed a little bit more life and energy towards the end of that first half. We'll step aside for a break, and when we come back, we will get you some halftime stats, and we'll get you all geared up for what should be a fun second half. You are watching the UPSHOT League. Welcome back into this presentation of UPSHOT Basketball here in Greensboro, North Carolina. We are at the Novant Health Fieldhouse in beautiful Greensboro. My name's Wendell Epps here to bring you today's broadcast. We got our great production crew with us as well along for the ride. Your halftime score, Jacksonville 37, Greensboro 28. The Jacksonville Waves right now so far in this game, they've been looking good. Came out in that first quarter, were looking sharp. 18-13, they were able to lead in that first period, and Greensboro in that second quarter was able to come back a little bit. But Jacksonville leading by 9 points right now, and looking at the stats right now for the Jacksonville Waves, Renaya Davis currently leading the way with 10 points on the day for Jacksonville. In Greensboro, Diamond Johnson and Maya Hollingshed, they each have combined for 18 points so far in this ball game. So it'll be interesting to see if the Greensboro Groove can come out in that second half and look a little bit more sharp. Those opening minutes certainly will be a big tell. But an interesting thing to note is that both teams shot just 2 of 11 from long range in that first half. But we know that both of these teams can get going from long range sooner rather than later. Each of these teams have a lot of sharp shooters. Greensboro has a player by the name of Jessica Timmons who hit 7 threes in a game against the Jacksonville Waves just a few weeks ago. And this is the 5th overall meeting between Greensboro and Jacksonville. The Waves have taken 3 of the first 4 meetings so far this year, including winning last night's game right here in this building. But 2 of the first 5 meetings that have been played so far between these two teams have been decided by 5 points or less. So Jacksonville and Greensboro, they have had some good battles so far. And in the UPSHOT standings, the Waves still in first place right now at 6-2. Greensboro not too far behind at 4-4. They're tied with the Savannah Steel, who are also 4-4. And then you have the Charlotte Crown at 2-6. But this will be the final meeting, at least for a little bit, between Greensboro and Jacksonville. Next game that Greensboro will play will be Wednesday against Charlotte, and Jacksonville will play the Savannah Steel. Some other interesting things from the first half as well. Points in the paint. Jacksonville outscored Greensboro 20-14 inside that low block. That was something that they did a lot in yesterday's game as well. That really paid huge dividends for the Waves of getting inside that low block, using players like Adu Polgak, Lindsey Pulliam, and Cheyenne Sellers, and just finding ways to score inside. And I think some keys to the second half here, specifically for Greensboro, starting off with them, is can they draw more fouls, right? You know, can they get to the line a little bit more? Can they create some points of separation? And I think for Jacksonville, already leading by 9, they're in a good spot. But the key is, can they hold Greensboro to not getting out in fast break? Because actually, despite beating Greensboro in yesterday's ball game, the Groove actually had a pretty good advantage in the fast break points department. They kind of were playing a little bit more of a faster pace than Jacksonville. Jacksonville was more of a steady pace. That's kind of expected when you got a young team like the Greensboro Groove out here. They're going to go out here. They're going to be fast. They're going to be athletic. That's something that head coach Janice Washington did emphasize in the preseason, that she wanted her team to play fast. And naturally, of course, when you got players like Diamond Johnson who can get all over the floor and do a little bit of everything, you got players like Kamari McDaniel. I call her an energy bunny. She can do it all. She's got bounce. Maya Hollingshed's got bounce. Tayana Jones-Bell as well, another player in this Greensboro Groove team who's very athletic. So when you think of just athleticism and talent, certainly the Groove have that. But you got to give credit to the Jacksonville Waves, who have been on this pretty big win streak these last couple games, beating the Groove a couple times, also getting a win there in between with the Charlotte Crown, knocking them off in their home building at the Bojangles Coliseum. This Jacksonville team has just been very, very composed, and obviously that starts with your head coach, Jess Boja, but also with Air Hearn playing really well. She's the 3rd leading scorer in the UPSHOT League, leading scorer overall for the Jacksonville Waves this season. Air Hearn averaging over 15 points a contest, so she's looked good so far this season. In that first half, only had 3 points, but was more of a facilitator, had 4 rebounds, and also the 1 3 that she did hit was a pretty big statement 3, so kind of a little bit of a deja vu, because in yesterday's game, she hit 2 threes in the clutch. Second half set to begin here in just a matter of a couple of moments here between Jacksonville and Greensboro. The Waves so far have only lost 1 game on the road this season, and they'll be looking to get themselves another win here today. This Jacksonville Waves team has been in Greensboro here these last couple days, but they've been enjoying the trip so far, and 18 total rebounds in that first half for Jacksonville, and they'll be looking to carry that into our second half as well. So we'll step aside for one final intermission before we get our second half rolling here, and we'll be back here in just about 60 seconds to get our second half underway. Greensboro and Jacksonville, do not go anywhere. You are watching the UPSHOT League. do it. Second half getting set to begin at the Novant Health Fieldhouse, the Greensboro Groove, and the Jacksonville Waves. Appreciate everyone spending your Saturday with us wherever you may be watching this ball game. You are tuned in to the UPSHOT League, brand new pro women's hoops, 4 teams, and the League of Opportunity, a league that's got a lot of talent on not just the player side, but the staff side, and talk about the future of this league as well, with the expansion teams set to come next year already with Baltimore and Nashville, the 2 cities that have been announced, more to come soon. This is a fun league, and the product has certainly been great. My name is Wendell Epps here to bring you this broadcast. We got our fantastic production crew along for the ride as well. Be bringing you everything here in this second half, and be curious to see what kind of second half we will have in store. I have a feeling it's going to be a good one, because I know that Jacksonville wants to try and end this little road trip here in Greensboro 2-0. That would be a nice little confidence booster heading into their next game back at home against the Savannah Steel. And for Greensboro, they don't want to drop 2 games in a row against Jacksonville. They want to try and get a win here in front of their home fans. They want to try and prove that, hey, we can hang with the top dog. Jacksonville currently in first place in those UPSHOT standings. Greensboro trying to get back on top themselves, as the 5 on the floor will be the same starters that we saw in this game. Greensboro rolling out Kamaria McDaniel, Maya Hollinshed, Sahara Jones, Jessica Timmons, and Diamond Johnson. The leading scorer in the UPSHOT League in terms of points per game. Jacksonville rolling out Air Hearn, Cheyenne Sellers, Renaya Davis, Jasmine Walker, and Lindsey Pulliam. The Waves in the white uniforms here today. Greensboro in the blue uniforms. As the Waves will open up with possession here in this second half. A first half that saw Jacksonville shoot 41% from the field and hold Greensboro to just 34%. 15 bench points as well for the Waves. Greensboro with just 2. So really, when you talk about the second unit, that was something that was a big X factor in yesterday's game, and quite frankly, actually was a big X factor in Jacksonville's win against the Greensboro Groove way back on May 31st, in a game in which they only won 90-87, but still, it was a game that they were able to win narrowly because their second unit came in, they delivered, and they were really big for them. So we're just waiting on our official cue to get our second half underway here. I promise you all, hoops are getting set to begin here in the matter of just a couple of moments. Some things are just so good, they're just worth waiting for. This is one of them. UPSHOT basketball, the Jacksonville Waves and the Greensboro Groove. It's also Legends Night at the Novant Health Fieldhouse, honoring some legends. Yesterday had a great Woman in Sports Night as well. So certainly some great things put on forth in this full display here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. We do play 4 10-minute quarters here in the UPSHOT League, 24-second shot clock. As there we go, I heard that buzzer. We are officially good to go, ready to rock and roll. This second half is officially underway. This is Jasmine Walker. Back into the hands of Pulliam. Picked up one-on-one right now against Jessica Timmons. Walker, nice bounce pass inside, but it was deflected. Hollinshed got a piece of it. So that's a nice start for Greensboro, forcing a turnover. This is McDaniel. And a turnover for the Groove, so both teams opening up the second half. Not ideal, but still plenty of time to get back on track. Hearn steps back, overhead pass to Sellers. Launches a pass inside, a beauty, finding Renaya Davis for the finish. Here comes Diamond Johnson now controlling the point for the Greensboro Groove. Picked up right now by Lindsey Pulliam. Gets a screen from Hollinshed. Johnson out to Hollinshed, double teamed. 8 on the timer. This is Jessica Timmons with 4 points in that first half. Timmons, a deep 3 ball. Can't fall, and it's going to be a shot clock violation as it never hit rim. And Hollinshed looks like she came up hobbling a little bit after that last possession, so she's going to head to the bench. Tayana Jones-Bell is going to come in. There's 6 players, though, on the floor right now for Greensboro, so they got to get someone off, and they're going to also get Kamaria McDaniel off as Amaya Joyner has also checked back in for Greensboro. So it's Jones, Johnson, Jones, Bell, Timmons, and Joyner, the 5 on the floor for the Groove. Walker, a mid-range J, in and out like a fast food restaurant as Joyner gets the rebound. Here's Timmons. Right near that left baseline, fires a jumper, no hesitation. Calm, cool, and collected is Jessica Timmons. Hearn on the other end, can't hit the J. Ball tapped around, good rebound by Sahara Jones. She's got 3 players on her trying to escape the trap. We're gonna get a jump ball. How about that effort from the Waves not giving up on the play? And as a result, they're gonna get rewarded with a jump ball. Take a look at a replay of this Jessica Timmons bucket. This is a player that you can just tell game by game, she is gaining more and more confidence. And right there, just showcase that. Now with 6 points here on this game. So it'll be Sahara Jones and Renaya Davis. Davis listed at 6'2", Jones listed at 6 feet even. Tap is controlled by Jacksonville. So that's going to earn them an extra possession. Air Hearn left open. She'll fire a 3 in Joyner's face and knock it down. That's Air Hearn doing Air Hearn things. Here's Johnson. Gets a screen from Joyner. Drives inside, loses the ball. It'll stay with the Groove with 12 on the shot clock. Here's Jones. Picked up by Davis, down low into the hands of Joyner. One-on-one against Walker, trying to muscle her way inside. Can't finish. Tayana Jones-Bell, the energy bunny, trying to get the rebound. Couldn't. We got 2 players on the ground as we'll get another jump ball. But that is a credit to both teams. The fact that we've seen 2 jump balls in less than 60 seconds. I tell you, the Greensboro Groove and the Jacksonville Waves, they are 2 teams where their identities revolve around hustling, fighting for extra possessions, and not giving up on any kind of plays. So it'll be Joyner and Davis to jump. Renaya Davis has been living with jump balls these last couple minutes. So here we go. Trying to make sure the players are getting lined up. Gotta make sure we got a clean, even jump ball. We're waiting for it. Come on, give it to us. There it is. The jump ball is controlled by Greensboro. Timmons picks up her dribble into the hands of Sahara Jones. Muscling her way inside against Sellers. 3 on the shot clock. She's got to go. She'll fire and gets it to roll. Okay, Sahara. I see you. I see you. That was a good bucket there for Jones, a much-needed one, as Greensboro's continue to try and climb back into this one. Down low, it's Walker. Double-teamed by Jones, and we're going to get a timeout here from Jess Bogie as Jacksonville was trapped, and that's just what they had to do. So the Waves are going to talk things over and try and draw up a play to get a bucket out of the timeout, but we're going to take a look at this last bucket. Jessica Timmons finding Sahara Jones, one-on-one against Sellers. Jones says, you know what, I got to get a shot off. Let me do it, and let me make it. Greensboro within 10, 7:04 to play. Back in just a moment, you're watching the UPSHOT League. When your business needs power, you can rely on trust a commercial and industrial electrical contractor who knows North Carolina. From new construction and renovations to service, upgrades, and critical power systems, D.W. Evans Electric delivers safe, dependable electrical solutions on time and on budget. Our experienced team powers facilities across the state with precision, professionalism, and pride. D.W. Evans Electric, powering North Carolina's businesses. Call 919-383-6020 or visit dwevans.com today. Welcome back into this presentation of the UPSHOT League. The Jacksonville Waves taking on the Greensboro Groove here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. Fans showing out here on this June day in the Triad. Greensboro Groove had this nice little homestand, and all of their games in this homestand have taken place against the Jacksonville Waves. A couple more to come, and the next game will be against the Charlotte Crown on Wednesday. But right now, the Waves currently lead 42-32. 7:04 to play here in our third quarter. Jacksonville has the ball as Waves called a timeout after getting trapped by Greensboro down low. And there were some conversations between head coach Espogi and the officials prior to the inbound. And they're on the other side, so I'm not exactly sure what the confusion was about. But Jacksonville does have the ball, and they will inbound here. This is Airhearn with it, double team tightly. Oh my goodness, look at the swarm by Johnson and Joyner. Coming in like a swarm of bees as you've got an easy bucket for Renaya Davis. Jacksonville did a nice job escaping the trap and finishing in style. Here's Timmons. Free throw line, Jay. Get in there. So Jessica Timmons now up to 8 points. And right away, a block on the other end from Amaya Joyner. Said, get out. Rebound, though, by Jacksonville. Second chance, it's Walker. Money. I tell you, Jasmine Walker, she's got a smooth game, especially right around that 15-foot area of the floor. Tayana Jones-Bell will fire a three. Oh, my! Okay. Tayana Jones-Bell has checked in, and she's showcasing her range. I tell you, she had maybe the best block of the UPSHOT season last night against the Jacksonville Waves. Those of you that saw that, please tell me you remember that block, because that block was something else. Ball goes out of bounds. Possession is going to stay with Jacksonville. Greensboro trying to say it was last touch by Jacksonville, but take a look at this block here from Amaya Joyner. Said, get out, Jasmine Walker. Here come the Waves, leading by 9, 5:53 to play here in our third period. This is Pointer, working against Timmons, down low into the hands of Walker. Looking for a rematch against Joyner. That shot too long. Rebound is corralled by Greensboro. Here comes Johnson with the need for speed down the floor. Jones-Bell, the fake, the take, and the make! Oh my! Tayana Jones-Bell hitting that one. The bank is open in Greensboro. And the steal by the Groove. Oh, no. Jacksonville got it back just in the nick of time. But how about Tay Jones-Bell? These last couple possessions for the Greensboro Groove, she has been stepping up big time. And the Groove are within 6. Johnson kicked it out. Jones-Bell showcasing her moves, shooting that shot. And then I love her reaction after making it, saying, I don't know what happened. It went in. It just must be my day. And for Jones-Bell, a player that has been such a force defensively, it's kind of been her identity this season. Had 3 points yesterday, but already with 6. And these were her first minutes, by the way, of the second half. She didn't play a single second in that first half. We're going to get a foul called there. It's a second team foul. It'll be free throws coming up for Adut Bulgak. And you see Bulgak getting inside. Tay Jones-Bell trying to go for the block, but clearly a tap there on the arm. And Bulgak now will shoot 2 free throws here for the Waves. First one rattles home for Bulgak. 33 years old, the oldest player on this Jacksonville Waves team. Listed at 6'5", 12th pick back in the 2016 WNBA draft by the New York Liberty. 7 games played with them, 5 played with Chicago. Has had an international tour that I wish I can go on someday with stops in Spain, France, Mexico. Well, she's been all over the place, but now here with the Jacksonville Waves. Here's Diamond Johnson, tightly defended by Taylor Soule. Trying to get free. Hollinshed back in. Jones Bell again! Oh my! When you're hot, you're hot! Greensboro's within 5. Tayana Jones Bell with an electric spark off the bench. We're going to get a foul, though, as Pulliam was able to draw contact. But we've seen not just 1, not just 2, but 3 triples in this quarter for Jones Bell. Woo! That is how you get back in a game if you're the Greensboro Groove. And Jacksonville will look to get some points on the board here at the free throw line, as the first free throw for Pulliam is nothing but net. Get some subs on the floor for the Groove. Jessica Timmons will check out. So will Sahara Jones as Jalen Brown and Sasha Washington come back in for Greensboro. Pulliam, second shot, dropped in, but a lane violation was called on Jacksonville. So no basket for Jacksonville, and the score will remain 49-43 in favor of the Waves. But the Groove have come alive. Both teams only made 2 threes in the first half alone. Tayana Jones-Bell has hit 3 threes in this quarter. And a foul is called as Jalen Brown gets inside. Nice take. And Brown is going to head to the line now to shoot 2. This is a replay here of Pulliam drawing that foul on the possession prior, and resulted in technically a 2-for-2 trip for her, but 1 for 2 because of the lane violation, as Brown misses the first free throw there. Brown listed at 6'1", 23 years old. Also was a new addition a couple weeks ago for the Greensboro Groove. Participated with the Seattle Storm in a WNBA training camp with them, and now here with the Greensboro Groove, and has seen her minutes total increase these last couple games. Pulliam, a pull-up J, get in there. Lindsay Pulliam delivering for the Waves. .407 to play in our third quarter. Jacksonville leads by 7. This is Johnson. Little Hezzy steps in. Shot rattles out, ball tapped around. Soule gets the rebound for Jacksonville. Waves wasting no time. The Euro by Pointer. Johnson was there. Great contest. And on the other end, we're going to get a blocking foul on Soule. Jess Bogie wanted a charge, but she's not going to get it. So right now for Greensboro, on the floor, it's Washington, Brown, Hollinshed, Jones-Bell, who has had 3 threes made in this quarter, and Diamond Johnson, the 5 on the floor for Greensboro. As take a look at that bang-bang play between Johnson and Soule. And Greensboro just put in Kamari McDaniel as well, as Jalen Brown will take a seat. Here's McDaniel with the ball, into the hands of the hot hand, Jones-Bell. Washington to a cutting Jones-Bell, finishes inside. Tayana Jones-Bell can do no wrong. Johnson with the tip, and Greensboro has it. Washington launches it to Johnson. The 3 on the way. Yes! Greensboro's within 2. Soul against Washington. Can't hit, but a foul is called. As Jess Boji, she was steaming after that foul was called. It was assessed on Greensboro, but she just wanted to make sure that the foul was going to be called. But we're going to take a look at this incredible sequence. Greensboro forces the turnover. How about Sasha Washington? The outlet pass, and Johnson says, you know what? We'll just fire this 3. And that got this Greensboro crowd fired up. Groove are knocking on the door, but Jacksonville trying to keep the lead going. Soul just knocked down that first free throw, clapping her hands together, telling her team, like, let's go, let's stay composed. As Tayana Jones-Bell will check out of the ball game. Nice little round of applause after some incredible minutes off the bench here in this third quarter. 11 points in the quarter for Jones-Bell. 2-for-2 trip there for Soul. Johnson has it. 3 minutes to play in our third quarter. Soul all up in the grill of Diamond Johnson. Diamond trying to escape the pressure. Gets a screen from Washington. Ball tapped around. Goes to Hollenshed. She lost it and also got injured. Hobbling after that. Here comes Jacksonville. Bulgak a 3. Can't hit. McDaniel the rebound. Pushing the pace. McDaniel, the Euro! Oh, baby! Kamaria McDaniel. That was a nice finish, and Greensboro, again, back to a one-possession game. Jumper, no good for Pulliam. Brown gets the board. Groove can tie with a 2, take a lead with the 3, but Sellers gets a steal. Takes it inside, and she is fouled. McDaniel, look at that. Says, let me do my thing. The Euro in transition, making it look easy. As Diamond Johnson getting some instructions from her head coach, Janice Washington. That's something that obviously has been really a joy to see the increase, obviously, of trust and connection between the players and coaches in the UPSHOT League. And you got to think a lot of these players are underdogs, right? A lot of these players, some of them were recently cut from a WNBA team after participating in training camp, or players that maybe started off at a smaller college but transferred later to a bigger school and really paid their dues and got good and finished off strong. But now here in the UPSHOT League, they are showing their talent. And this UPSHOT League is here to stay. There's a lot of great players, a lot of fantastic teams, and we've been treated to a lot of fantastic games this season. And add this one to the list, baby, because Jacksonville and Greensboro, this one has been good. As Sellers knocks down both free throws, Jacksonville leads by 4. Here's Timmons, one-on-one against Soul. The kick out in the hands of Jalen Brown, who's back in. Drives inside with the need for speed. Here come the Waves on the other end. Hearn, oh my goodness. An aerial wizard is Air Hearn. Scoreboard is getting fixed right now as Jacksonville leads by 4. That is the correct score on your screen right there, 57-53. Jones with it for Greensboro. Gives it over to McDaniel, left corner. Spinning her way inside. 4 on the shot clock. Lost the ball. It's a turnover. So Jacksonville stepping up there in the final seconds of that shot clock as they will take over now with possession. What a third quarter this has been. I mean, I knew towards the end of the first half we were starting to see the energy pick up from both teams, but really, I mean, I don't think anyone could have expected it to be this dang great. I mean, this has been one of the best quarters of UPSHOT basketball all season. Just a lot of good offense, highlight plays, everyone flying everywhere in between. As Sellers gets fouled by Jalen Brown. And that is going to send Sellers to the free throw line. as that is the 15th foul of the quarter. See right there, Jalen Brown and Maya Hollingshed both getting tangled up there with Sellers. So Sellers at the free throw line, only 2 points so far in this game for Cheyenne Sellers. As Jalen Brown will check out, Tayana Jones-Bell will come back in for Greensboro. .105 to play in our third quarter. Appreciate everyone joining us for this presentation of the UPSHOT League. Greensboro and Jacksonville playing for the second straight time in less than 24 hours. Jacksonville won yesterday. Greensboro trying to answer here today. McDaniel goes between the legs a few times, steps inside near the right baseline. Bell gets it in the hands of Timmons. Down low to Hollingshed. Hollingshed muscling her way inside. Can't finish. They're going to get a loose ball foul, though, on the Waves. And with that being the second foul under 2 minutes, that's going to result in free throws for Greensboro. Maya Hollingshed will shoot them. First shot's up and in. Maya Hollingshed with 10 points now. 4 players on the floor for the Groove are in double digits. Hollingshed, Timmons, Johnson, and Jones-Bell, each with 10 or more points here in this ball game. Greensboro trails by 5, 35 seconds to play. Jacksonville with the ball right now. This is Jasmine Walker. Thought 3, now will fire, and can't hit. Johnson corrals the rebound. Here come the Groove. It's McDaniel behind the back, one-on-one against Hearn. Will slow things down. Shot clock still on, but barely on. About a 2-second differential. Timmons checks the clock. Gets a screen from Hollingshed. Drives inside. Out to Hollingshed. 2 seconds. She's going to have to hoist. And she doesn't. And you can tell the Greensboro bench really wanted to see a shot go off because we already talk about momentum being built in this quarter. Greensboro has done that, but had you made a shot there, it would have made it a one-possession game and could have cut the deficit a little bit closer. 2.8 to go. Quarter not over yet. One final chance for Jacksonville. Walker to Sellers. Can she get one off in time? She did not get that one off in time. Won't matter anyways because she didn't make the shot. As quarter number 3 has officially ended. Jacksonville leading Greensboro 59-54. What a quarter that was. We had a little bit of everything in that quarter. Highlight plays, good defense, good offense, craziness in Greensboro. And it's only set to continue to rise in that fourth quarter. Buckle up, folks. We're in for an exciting finish. Back in just a moment for the final period of regulation. You're watching the UPSHOT League. if you like fun basketball, you have come to the right place. The Jacksonville Waves taking on the Greensboro Groove on this Saturday in the Triad. You are watching UPSHOT Basketball. Welcome on into the broadcast, everybody. My name is Wendell Epps. Got our fantastic production crew with us as well along for the ride. And this is going to be a fun fourth quarter. Jacksonville and Greensboro went toe-to-toe. It was the highest scoring quarter for both teams in that third period. Greensboro outscoring Jacksonville 26-22. Tayana Jones-Bell, number 1 in blue, scored 11 points in that third quarter, hitting 3 threes. She's got the ball right now for Greensboro. On the floor with Kamari McDaniel, Diamond Johnson, who has it now, fires a triple, can't get that one to go, but Jessica Timmons gets the rebound. Second chance for the Groove. Shot clock did not reset. Jones-Bell again! And she can't hit that one. She's human, I guess. Here comes Cheyenne Sellers on the other end. Drives in, shoots, and misses. Ball tapped around, and it'll be Groove basketball. So let's see what Greensboro can do in these opening minutes of this quarter. 11 fast break points for the Groove. They haven't had any second chance points. Jacksonville has 10 second chance points, so maybe Greensboro can start creating a little bit more extra opportunities for them. That could go a long way in this game. McDaniel drives in. Foul's called on Renaya Davis. And that'll be her first. There's a replay of that. McDaniel currently has 6 points on the day. Gets inside and will look to try and hit both free throws here. If there's any player that has taken a ton of free throws this season for Greensboro, it's been Kamari McDaniel. As it looks like there's some blood on the jersey of Cheyenne Sellers, so they're going to get that cleaned up. Been a physical game here in Greensboro. And they say basketball sometimes is blood, sweat, and tears. So there's the blood, but get that cleaned up. It's been a good game for just joining us, Jacksonville and Greensboro. These two teams saw each other yesterday, a game in which the Jacksonville Waves were able to win 82-70. The Waves in that game, they were led by Air Hearn, who had 19 points. They had 3 players scoring double figures, 30 points in the paint, 19 bench points. The Groove put on a pretty respectable effort, more so in that second half, bouncing back after a little bit of a sluggish start. They were led by Jessica Timmons, who had 20 points. Diamond Johnson had 16, and Kamari McDaniel scored 14. And speaking of Kamari McDaniel, she is at that free throw line right now to shoot these free throws. She can make both. It'll be a 3-point game. McDaniel, player who has had a couple WNBA training camp appearances with the Las Vegas Aces, most recently the Washington Mystics, has played professionally in Turkey, China, and Puerto Rico. And now here she is with the Greensboro Groove, up to 8 points here in this contest today. Pass is deflected. Johnson has it. Here she goes, blazing her way down the floor. McDaniel fakes. Thought 3, now drives, loses the ball. Jones-Bell saves it for Greensboro. Trying to look for somebody. Gets it to Hollenshed. 10 on the shot clock. Back to Jones-Bell. She's hit 3 threes in this half. Does she have another? She's going to try it. And that one can't go. Here's Davis, working against Hollenshed, drives inside, bustling her way in for 2 points. Renaya Davis, a force inside that low block. Johnson gets a screen from Hollenshed, kicks it out to Jones-Bell. Now it's Timmons, stepping out, Hollenshed to McDaniel, the fake with 5 on the timer. Drives, shoots, and draws another foul. So Kamari and McDaniel will head to the free throw line for the second time this period as the Groove players huddle up really quick to have a little powwow. You see McDaniel working against Cheyenne Sellers, a bigger defender, but was able to initiate the contact and draw the foul as her first free throw's up and in. Zahara Jones will come back in to replace Tayana Jones-Bell. One more free throw for McDaniel. It's good. 7:49 to play in our fourth period. Jacksonville leads Greensboro 61-58. Sellers, tightly defended by Hollenshed. Now it's Davis, looking down low for Walker, swatted away by Jones. Here come the Groove. Timmons, turns, shoots, and makes. Groove needed that. They're within one. Hearn attacks inside. She'll turn. Can't hit. And that rebound is corralled by Jones. Greensboro can take the lead here. Johnson for the lead. No good. Greensboro did lead by as many as 3. That was back at the 6:19 mark of the first quarter. Jacksonville has led by as many as 12. That was back at around the 2-minute mark in the second period. As we have a reach and foul called there on Maya Hollenshed. And that should be on the floor. Renaya Davis was already headed to that free throw line trying to say, hey, let me shoot my freebies. But nope, the official saying it was on the floor as it was assessed and ruled as a reach-in. So Jacksonville has it, 14 on the shot clock, 6:47 on the game clock. This is Hearn with 8 points so far for the Waves. Gives it over to Pulliam. Working against Johnson. The jumper can't fall. McDaniel soars for the board. Here she comes, wasting no time down the floor. And McDaniel is fouled. It is a blocking foul. Jacksonville can't believe it. We'll get some substitutions on the floor for both sides. As now the 5 on the floor for Greensboro is McDaniel, Joyner, Jones, Timmons, and Johnson. As you see right there, the contact and Sellers open her mouth so wide, you can see that all the way down in Jacksonville. So McDaniel's going to inbound. Greensboro can take the lead here. It would be their first lead since the opening period. McDaniel working against Soul, saucing and crossing, and can't hit the J, but the rebound is corralled by Zahara Jones. Second chance is good. Greensboro's back on top. Here's Pulliam into the hands of Bulgak, looking for Soul down low, turnover. They were trying to get Soul free there down low, and head coach Esboji, she is hot right now in the official's face. As Jacksonville will call timeout. But how about the Greensboro Groove? Zahara Jones not giving up. It's the heart, it's the hustle. Greensboro's back on top. We're back in just a moment. You're watching the UPSHOT League. Well, these are the games you live for if you are a basketball fan. The Greensboro Groove and the Jacksonville Waves have been going toe-to-toe all game long. And Kamari McDaniel couldn't hit the three in the last possession, but how about Zahara Jones shooting and scoring over Adut Bulgak, and that gave Greensboro the lead. They lead 62-61 with 6 minutes to play here in our final period of regulation. Appreciate everyone joining us here today as McDaniel draws the foul. Bulgak was the guilty party. So 2 free throws are coming up for Kamari McDaniel. If you're just joining us, first of all, welcome. You're watching the UPSHOT League. My name's Wendell Epps. We got our A+ production team with us as well. Jacksonville outscored Greensboro 18-13 in the first quarter. They then outscored the Groove 19-15 in the second period to be able to take a pretty decent lead heading into halftime, as you see a replay of that foul one more time there. But our third quarter was one of the best quarters of basketball that I've seen in recent memory. Both the Greensboro Groove and Jacksonville Waves were on a tear. They were shooting the ball well. They each scored over 20 points, but the Groove outscored them by 4, 26-22. And so far in this fourth quarter, at least coming out of the timeout, Greensboro had held Jacksonville to just 2 points in this quarter. So Greensboro's defense has been really sharp. Their offense has been sharp as well. It's been a 10-2 run for the Groove here in this final period of regulation, and hence the reason they are back on top, leading by 3. Pointer drives inside and finishes in style. This game's certainly going to go down to the wire, I'll tell you that much. Here's McDaniel, goes behind the back, weaves her way inside for the and one! Kamari McDaniel is a scoring machine. Gotta look at this one again. Look at it. Kamari McDaniel, she is just so good at getting inside the paint, drawing that contact, getting to the line, and she showed it on full display. She has come alive in this fourth quarter. Can't make the free throw, but Greensboro gets the board. Johnson for 3. Too strong. McDaniel's up to 14 points. That is actually now a team high. Mind you, she headed into this fourth quarter not even being a top 3 scorer in the scoring department on the box score for Greensboro. Pointer is fouled. It's going to be a reach-in on Jessica Timmons. That's going to be her second. So 5:12 remaining here in our final period of regulation. 5th meeting overall between the Waves and the Groove. Soul gets inside, can't finish, gets her own miss, goes up and draws contact and a foul. So Soul will shoot 2. That was a 3rd-team foul. Taylor Soul, she is a player that will not give up. I've covered her in the past, and I know that's just the energy that she brings inside that low block. Player that will fight for every extra possession, and it paid in huge dividends there. It earned Jacksonville an extra opportunity, and it's going to give them some points on the board. Just knocked down that first free throw. A make here can make it a one-point game as Soul hits it. 66-65, Greensboro still on top. Soul, Pointer, Hearn, Pulliam, and Bulgak, the 5 on the floor for Jacksonville. This is Timmons. Gets a screen from Joyner. Drives inside and finishes. Groove back on top by 3. Hearn gives it over in the hands of Pointer. Back to Hearn for 3 in the tie. Too strong. Greensboro has it. The launching pass to McDaniel. What do you got? Oh, McDaniel, a great look. Everything but the finish. Jacksonville will slow it down. Both of these teams have been in so many close game situations this season. Zahara Jones saying, I'll take that from you. Here comes Jones, driving like there's no tomorrow. And 1. it's all Greensboro here in this fourth quarter. They have come alive. Sahara Jones. Do your thing. She got the steal, drove inside, and finished against Pulliam. You just knew what was coming down the floor, a full freight train. And Jones with a chance to convert a three-point play and extend the Groove lead up to 6. Can't hit the free throw. Rebound is corralled there by Walker. Jacksonville can make it a one-possession game with either a made 2 or a made 3. Pointer drives in, draws contact and a foul. Take a look at a replay of this again. Kayla Pointer, so good at getting inside that paint. She's one of the fastest players out there. I'd put her as a top 3 player as far as who I would take in a race any day of the week. Just seeing how fast she's been moving, not even just in today's game, but yesterday's game. She was a big X factor in that win that Jacksonville had. As a reminder, the Waves come into this game #1 in the UPSHOT League standings, sitting at 6-2. The Greensboro Groove are at 4-4. Second place are the Greensboro Groove. Jacksonville riding a 3-game win streak, trying to extend it to 4. Greensboro trying to get back in the win column and get back to an above 500 record. It is officially crunch time in Greensboro. About 4 minutes to go. Greensboro leads by 3. This is Timmons. Jumper on the way, and it's good! Jessica Timmons delivering in the clutch. Here comes Hearn, faking against Johnson. The kick out into the hands of Sellers. One-on-one against Timmons. Sellers trying to work a move out to Hearn for 3. Too strong, ball tapped. Jones has it. The Groove have just been doing everything that they need to on the defensive end in this fourth period. McDaniel lost it. Jones got it back. Goes up, can't finish. Second chance. And we're going to get a timeout. What a smart timeout by Janice Washington. Sahara Jones got that rebound. Credit to her. But Greensboro calls time, and they'll try and get to the drawing board to seal the deal. Can the Groove do it? Can they beat the Waves? We'll find out in just a moment. You're watching the UPSHOT League. Welcome back to the UPSHOT League. The Greensboro Groove trying to hold on to this lead that they have, 72-67. They're up top by 5. 3:20 to go in our fourth quarter. Can they do it? Let's find out. Or can Jacksonville come back? Do they have some life in them? They have some heart in them. Can they get this job done? We'll see as Timmons scores straight out of the timeout to extend the Groove lead up to 7. I tell you, Jessica Timmons, this kid's just come alive. She has been balling these last couple games. She's on the verge of scoring 20 or more points in 4 straight games against the Waves as Air Hearn answers with a bucket of her own. That gets her into double digits with 10. Here's McDaniel stepping in against Jasmine Walker. Drives inside, can't finish, good contest by Walker. Here come the Waves, they have a 3-on-2. It's Cheyenne Sellers driving inside, can't finish, but Pointer's there for the putback. So Jacksonville now within 3, it's a 1-possession ball game. Timmons will slow things down for the Groove. Approaching 2 minutes in regulation. Timmons to Jones, fakes, takes, oh my goodness! Zahara Jones on a tear! What a play! Easily the highlight of the quarter there for Greensboro. Jacksonville still with time. Sellers drove, and the call is going to be a foul. It's going to be assessed on Tayana Jones-Bell, a blocking foul. That'll be her second. Got to take a look at this last bucket here from Zahara Jones. Fakes, and look at that, double fake. Gotcha, twice, and finished inside. I tell you, Zahara Jones, another player that also has been growing a lot here these last couple games. So free throws coming up now for Cheyenne Sellers. Misses the first free throw. Cheyenne Sellers, 4 points on the day so far. That was her first miss from the free throw line. All 4 of her points actually have come from the free throw line. She makes the second there, so 50% trip. Groove lead the Waves, 76-72, 1:50 to play here in our fourth quarter. This is Diamond Johnson. Into the hands of Hollingshed. Her jumper's on the way. Get in there! A hometown bounce! And the Groove are back on top by 6. Pointer to Soul. Defense chance erupt here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse as Soul draws contact and a foul, and she will shoot 2. So Taylor Soul, who has actually gotten to the line the most out of any Jacksonville Waves player, she's a perfect 6 of 6 from the line so far today. 8 total points, just a little over 11 minutes played. But these are without a doubt her biggest shots of the day. Makes her first free throw. A make here can make it a 4-point game. Jacksonville obviously in that stage now with 90 seconds remaining. They're going to need some stops. And they're going to need some makes if they want to try and come back and win this ball game and keep their win streak alive. Soul missed the second. Her first miss of the day. She was a perfect 7 of 7 prior to that miss. Does Greensboro have a dagger in them? Timmons. Hollingshed. Out in the hands of Johnson. Tightly defended by Hurd. Over to Hollingshed. The short hook shot drops in. Maya Hollingshed delivering in the clutch. And on the other end, Hollingshed's going to be called for a foul on Soul. Pushed her a little too much there inside the paint. And Soul is going to head back to the free throw line. And that is the 5th foul on Maya Hollingshed, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Hollingshed's been so good today for the Groove. We highlighted her in our broadcast open as well as one of the players to watch. And this has been her highest scoring performance against the Jacksonville Waves in her last 3 meetings. So she's been playing really well. 14 points, here today. Taylor Soule just knocked down a big first free throw there. Trying to go 2 for 2 this time. Second shot is up and good. Jacksonville within 5. Here comes some full court pressure. Jones-Bell will inbound for the Groove. Hollingshed will come to help Timmons. Diamond Johnson is back deep near the left wing. The ball is inbounded into the hands of Hollingshed. Trying to get free. You don't want to get 8 seconds, so you got to go. Jones-Bell's going to have to launch it. She does, into the hands of Timmons. Jacksonville's just going to play defense. Timmons checks the clock. Picked up by Hearn. And there's a blocking foul. And that was not what Jacksonville wanted. There was just 6 seconds left on the shot clock, and a foul was called. And to make matters worse for Jacksonville, it's going to be free throws for Jessica Timmons. So that's going to give some freebies, potential freebies, for the Greensboro Groove. If Timmons can make both, it could be a 7-point lead for the Groove. Her first shot just bounced out. Timmons, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 18 points on the day. Missed both. So 2 big misses. Jacksonville caught a break. They still got some life. It's Sellers driving inside with force and finishing for 2. Jacksonville does not need to foul. That shot clock is still on, as we will get a timeout call from the Waves. So this will without a doubt be the biggest offensive possession for Greensboro. And we'll see it on the other side. We're back in just a moment. You're watching the UPSHOT League. Well, it's now or never. UPSHOT basketball. A tight contest here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Welcome on in to the broadcast, everybody. My name is Wendell Epps, here to bring you today's call. Greensboro Groove currently leading the Jacksonville Waves 80-77 with 36.7 seconds remaining in our 4th period. Greensboro trying to put the finishing touches on this game. A win today, they will move to 5-4 on the regular season. They'll get some revenge after falling short to the Jacksonville Waves in yesterday's game by a final score of 82-70. But right now, this is the scenario. The Groove have the ball, 36.7 on the game clock, 24 on the shot clock. So Jacksonville does not need a foul. It's a one-possession game. If the Waves can get a stop here, they could shoot a 3, make a 3 on the next possession, and that could potentially tie the game. Greensboro has been in an overtime game before, a double overtime game at that, against the Savannah Steel. So we will see if the Groove have one more bucket up their sleeve, or if the Waves have one more stop in them that they can use to try and get back on track. Hopefully you got some popcorn, soda, something nearby you to hold on to and munch on, because this finish is going to be thrilling. Let's do it. Groove have the ball. They've advanced the ball past half court. It'll be Jessica Timmons to inbound. Air Hearn set to defend. Timmons gets it into Diamond Johnson. The league's leading scorer so far through 8 games. Has the ball in her hands. Looking to come up in the clutch. Johnson drives. Kick out. Timmons for 3! Air ball goes into the hands of Sellers. Shot clock is off. Jacksonville can tie with a 3. Pointer drives. Goes for the 2. Can't finish. Johnson gets the board. Jacksonville has to foul. And there it is. So the Waves decided to go for a quick 2. And it was a risky move, and unfortunately for Jacksonville, it did not pay off as Hearn a little slow to get up. But Diamond Johnson is going to shoot 2 free throws. As you see right away, Diamond Johnson drove inside. Hearn was trying to just do anything she could to try and draw an offensive foul. But now Diamond Johnson, who's an 83% free throw shooter so far this season, is at the free throw line right now. These are her first free throws of the game. And they're the biggest ones. First one's good. Johnson to make it a 5-point game. She does. 82-77. The Greensboro Groove now lead by 5 with 11.2 seconds remaining in regulation. So Jacksonville had themselves a good scenario there. They could have maybe just taken a little bit more time off, tried to look for a 3. They decided to go for the quick 2. It was a great look there by Pointer, just everything but the finish. So now head coach Jess Bogey is going to have to drop something quick for Jacksonville Waves team. They're going to have to hope for a quick make. Ideally, if you can, try and make a 3, and then obviously you're going to have to foul and hope for a couple misses, or at least one miss on the side for the Greensboro Groove at the line. So game definitely not over yet, but Greensboro certainly has to feel good about the place that they're in right now, and you have to give the Groove credit as well with just what they've been able to do, especially in the second half. And you have to shout out number 1 in blue, Tayana Jones-Bell. She has been so good in the second half. She was the big X factor. She hit 3 threes in that third quarter that really gave Greensboro life. Sometimes that's all it takes, right? It just takes one player to get things going, to get rolling, and that's certainly what she did. Tayana Jones-Bell for the Greensboro Groove, 11 points off the bench in 11 minutes of play. The Groove, though, are led by Jessica Timmons with 16 points on the day right now. Renaya Davis leads Jacksonville with 16. So if you look actually at the box score for the Waves, they have 5 players in double figures. The Groove also have 5 players in double digits. So talk about a total team effort on both sides for the Groove and the Waves. It's certainly been that here so far. Upshot basketball is fun. I tell you, been treated as just some great games here in this season, and it's continued into today. And with 11.2, both teams headed back out on the floor now. Greensboro and Jacksonville playing each other today. More Upshot basketball tomorrow. The Savannah Steel will take on the Charlotte Crown at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So you'll get to see a little bit of everybody here this weekend. But here we go. We got a game to finish. Taylor Soul set to inbound. Tayana Jones-Bell jumping up and down like there's no tomorrow, defending that inbound. The ball goes into Sellers. Back to Hearn. Steps back. The triple. Can't fall. Putback is up and in there by Soul. 3 seconds to go. Hollingshed catches it and is immediately fouled with 2.6. So Maya Hollingshed will head to the free throw line. According to the scoreboard at the Novon Health Fieldhouse, Jacksonville has no timeouts left. So regardless of what happens with these free throws with Hollingshed, Jacksonville's going to have to go pretty much the full length of the floor. As it looks like Jacksonville just trying to get a substitution here, and they do with Renaya Davis. Hollingshed, though, these are big free throws. makes the first. Hollingshed now up to 15 points. She's now 2 of 3 from the stripe. And that might have just done it. This one can really seal it. Can't make it. Soul gets the board. And looks like Jacksonville had a reset timeout, so they were eligible to use that. So that's going to at least let them advance the ball past half court, but with just about 7/10 of a second remaining, it's going to take a 4-point play to let Jacksonville try and stay in this game and force an overtime period. But if Greensboro can just play clean defense and hold on here, they will be victorious. And it looks like they're resetting the game clock to 2.1, so that's some extra time. That'll help Jacksonville. No fouls if you're Greensboro. Davis to inbound. Gets it into Pointer. Pointer will hoist and misses as it is officially over. The Greensboro Groove win a huge game on a Saturday in Greensboro, North Carolina, knocking off the Jacksonville Waves 83-79. Cue the music. It's a celebration in the triad. The Groove get the job done over the Waves and move to 5-4 on the UPSHOT season. What a game this has been. Greensboro bouncing back after losing to Jacksonville yesterday, and now the season series still in favor of Jacksonville, but it's 3-2. And I tell you, these two teams are going to be teams to watch for the remainder of this UPSHOT season. I'd like to appreciate and to send a sincere thank you to everyone that tuned into today's broadcast. Hope you had fun. Shout out to our amazing production crew. They did a great job. My name is Wendell Epps. It has been a pleasure. Groove will be back at it on Wednesday to take on the Charlotte Crown. Good night, everybody. This has been a presentation of UPSHOT Basketball.